2024. It's 4 o'clock. Please stand for the invocation, followed by the pledge led by Mr. Pierce. Please bow your head. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us together today. Please guide our thoughts and our discussions with wisdom and understanding. Help us work together with respect and open minds so we can make decisions that are best for everyone. Bless everyone at this meeting and all those that are not here also. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Peppermint went down. Yeah. Okay. A couple announcements before we get started. District Attorney Charles Riddle and staff cordially invite the public to a Christmas open house at the District Attorney's office at 417 North Main Street, Marksville, December 6th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Please come visit their staff and share a little Christmas cheer. Also, Mr. Mark Burrell will be hosting a supparatus camp after the regular meeting Tuesday night. And also I'd like to remind everybody, if you have not early voted, there is election this Saturday. Please get out and express yourself. Okay. All right. We'll open up the delegations. We have one. Mr. D.A. will speak on the Solomon Northup update.
Okay. Well, let's see. The latest news is the statue is actually done. So all we have left is to build the base and promise to plant the trees. I've been talking to them about where to plant the trees. I just need approval from the police jury where to plant the trees and how many. The statue, we have to build the concrete base, which should be starting in the next couple of months. And the statue is actually going to take a tour of the United States. It's already assigned for 2 places where they pay us so we can get the rest of the money that we need to finish the base. The concrete base is just the beginning of it. Then we have to put the benches around the circular part. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
How long does that take, though? I
Probably,
mean, by the time the statue's finished and all, put on the spot.
we're hoping it'll be January 4th of next year, not this coming, not this January. Yeah, which is his birthday. No, I'm sorry, not his birthday, the day he was set free. So it'll be like an anniversary set, and that's the goal. And at some point, you'll need to tell me where to plant the trees, where we can put it.
Okay. The trees you talking about, you said it was those elm trees?
Yeah, cedar elm.
Okay.
They're called city trees because they don't bust up sidewalks. They put them in front of banks a lot to make sure they don't bust up sidewalks with the tree roots.
Mark, did you look at that, find a place or?
No, I know one thing, we're not planting them along the sidewalks.
Why not?
Oh, no. Huh?
Wait,
In the atrium?
no, these things grow, they give shade. The reason why the sidewalk is the perfect place is because those were designed for trees. They planted the wrong kind, which caused a lot of,
The crepe myrtles, yeah,
Yeah,
the tree
it
he's
dripped.
talking about, I know, 'cause
it's a
we
cedar
planted,
elm, yeah.
we planted 2 at that little park we have in Ward 1. They don't shed, they just form a shade.
Yeah, but how much do they come out?
A lot?
Oh, no, you're gonna park a car right there.
No. The tree that we're gonna get, the guy recommended 8 to 12 feet, okay? They trimmed, okay, so that they won't interfere with a car. The trees will not interfere with a car.
You know, you don't have much room right there.
They were designed for trees. I don't know why they put those others, I don't know.
No,
Okay, do
it was
we,
the way-
well, let's decide, do we want
Oh,
trees or
not
not?
cypress.
I don't know.
It's got a long
We do?
base, so the tree's not.
Oh, don't matter to me, plant them.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll make sure Tuesday night it's okay. Or, the committee can't make the final decision.
no, we'll
What's
put
that,
it.
about the tree?
You wanna
Yeah, I
have
mean,
it?
How many trees we talking you wanting to plant?
We had said we plant from about 8, but they don't wanna plant them like on the berms. We were gonna plant 12, but they don't wanna do that, apparently.
Is there some kind of landscape expert we can get that would come out freely and make a suggestion
Sure.
Look
where to
right
put
there.
them?
He already, yes, sir.
About Louisiana Forestry Association, maybe
Yeah.
ask them.
Well, okay, but the tree man told us what we could do. And look, Nathan was against us cutting the tree, Nathan Gaspar. He also said those 8 spots were made to plant trees. That's why they have grass between the sidewalk and the street.
Okay,
They were
we'll
made-
put it on the agenda whether or
Okay.
not we'll
I'll
vote on it.
try to get the tree man to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's Tuesday
today.
night, right? Or is it Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. 5?
Yes,
5
sir.
o'clock, okay.
They got a courthouse committee?
Yeah. Well, Mark is the house committee, I guess.
Y'all gonna make a recommendation, Mark? No, or y'all not?
Well,
Well, I mean, we need, just to ease everybody's mind, you get somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Okay.
Nobody in here
I'll
is
get
a
up to-
tree expert. I know a little something, but I'm not, I wouldn't.
I'm
Just to ease some
I
minds.
understand.
I'm just worried about when they, you know, everybody at the parks right there, all
Yeah,
they
they-
do is complain about the tree.
About the crepe myrtles,
That's
bad.
Crepe myrtles, not good for
Yeah,
cars.
they'll ruin a paint job.
If you don't put in your,
Okay, you got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. T.A. Miss Mary's not here. She called me on the phone, so I took that for the team. All right, so financial report from the Secretary Treasurer.
Sure. So we have two different reports tonight. The first one I'll go through is the usual revenue and expenditure and cash balance. There's a couple of typos on the revenue side, and we're almost to the end of the year, so we've done really well. I'll get to, the first typo is solid waste under revenues. For some reason, I looked over that amount. It's $4,470,000, and I have budgeted $4,930,000. The next one is drainage. It's actually backwards. It should be $639,959 versus the $369,959.
What was that?
Drainage.
Drainage, $639,959. As far as revenue goes, with the permit office, I think that's something we need to look at moving forward for next year. I don't know how you all want to handle that, but they are about 55,000 deficit this year. And I'm assuming that's where they're gonna end at, so,
Yeah, but we only take them as they come in.
yeah.
We can't go out and take them.
No.
Yeah.
So that's just something we'll have to deal with. Hopefully things pick up next year. On the expenditure side, the general fund expended a little more than I budgeted. We had some unforeseen things that came down the pike this year. Legal expenses, our insurance went up, and then we had reapportionment. So, it's not that bad, but I've amended it, so it should be okay. Again, like I said, permit office is down. This coming year, everything may change. There's really no way to know that until it happens. That's the purpose of amending that year end. So, cash balances, general fund has $113,000. Road and bridge has $3,920,000. Sorry. Solid waste is $7,367,000. Drainage has $807,000. Health unit, $5,087,000. Library is $1,732,000. Road District 2 is $116,000. Tourist Commission is $437,000. Permit Department is $316,000. Section 8 is $140,000. The Section 8 HUD Administrative Fund that pays for salaries is $211,000. Gaming Mitigation Fund sits at $300,000. We have those three CDs at the bottom for $1,079,274, and tourism has two small CDs. And we also have this colored report budget, which is our amended and our proposed budget, which will be voted on Tuesday night. I met with the Finance Committee several times to prepare this budget. Like I said, it was proposed for 25, and it's just basically a highlight of projections for revenue and expenditure over the next period of our budget cycle. I mean, it is an estimate, but it's well researched, and I think it's very realistic when you compare what we actually spend and what we bring in. So if there's any questions with the budget, I'll be happy to answer anything you might have looking over it. And, you know, anything can change with it up until the time it's adopted, which will be Tuesday night. So if there's anything that, you know, you have questions about, just give me a call. I'll be happy to explain or answer.
Gaming money. When was the last time you got a check?
We got a small check a few months ago, maybe, I wanna say. I'm not sure, Mr. Mark.
You know how much it was?
It wasn't that much. About 4 weeks ago. Very little compared to what we normally get.
Any other questions or comments? Anybody? Before we move on, we good? All right, 07, Joey? Not here?
Joey money.
Okay, not here. All right, Mr. Kevin, road, bridges, and drainage. Our favorite subject.
Your latest is mostly drainage.
That better? Finally found a job I could do, move the podium. We had those large rains, but most of the water's going down pretty good. I know we got some more rain coming in this week, but most all of the buyers are anywhere from 2 to 4 foot down. A few of them are back. I was towards Simsport today, and those are all back below pool. Hesma area, they're still up 6 foot higher. Hesma Bucky area, I'd say probably 6 foot. But everything's flowing out really good. Got with Rab yesterday morning, and they cleaned out, which they were doing it. I just stopped to see if they needed some help cleaning out the boxes by the casino. There was a few logs in there. I would like, if the jury will permit, Ms. Jamie sent a letter of thank you to Rab. About 3 weeks ago, we went when the waters were real high. They brought an excavator and their little boy. We had 2 of our machines, and we actually cleaned debris out from 5 bridges that day while the water was high. The water was high enough for us to reach off over the side of the bridges and grab the logs. A lot of y'all seen the pictures and everything sent out. So we put the small machines on the DeSalle crossing on the wooden bridge, and used the big machines on the concrete structures. But on the Bunky shortcut, on that bridge is on a big tangent. On the low side, the water was about 4 foot under the bridge. That's how high that water was. So, and then our crews went back and cleaned up the debris that needed to be cleaned up that we put up on the bank. So if we could just send a letter of thank you to them. They're always helping us anytime we call. And when I called them, they actually dropped the job they were doing in Ellick to come right there while the water was high. We had on bridges, we had the plan in hand meeting for Bobby Gaspard Bridge on the 13th. That all went very well. Nothing spectacular on that one. We're looking for that bridge to probably be in 26 rent, probably. Yeah.
Bobby Gasport?
Yeah, I was hoping to get a little bit before 2026, but probably looking like that one in Bordelon will be in 2026.
Why are you pushing it back for?
I have no idea. It was going to be in late 2025 before. Yeah.
It's probably in the same fiscal year.
Yeah.
It's not the same calendar.
Yeah, they didn't really push it back much at all. Yeah, they didn't really push it back much at all. But you just having your plan in hand, it's just to go through environmental.
Yeah.
You might be
I
thinking of
think the
Monroe
Bobby Gap
Farb.
one.
Monroe Farb is way ahead of all that.
No, I think I'm under 4.
Gotcha. Yeah, Monroe Farb's still gonna come in 2025.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Bobby Gaspard, Bordelon
2026.
bridges will be should be in 2026. You never know when they get to environmental.
Yeah.
It goes to one office, it'll get out in a couple of months, goes to the other one, it might be 6 months. We had LDEQ meeting at my office on the November 26th concerning the Montefield. They gave us some updates of what they were trying to do back and forth. They basically said they were looking at contractors to come in and see if the site could be cleaned up, what kind of money we'd be looking at to clean it up, and they were looking at ways to pay for this. And then we met again yesterday, the 3rd, with 2 contractors, one out of Oklahoma and one out of North Louisiana, to come in and give them prices to clean up the site. So as those prices come in, we're going to have another meeting next week with supposedly 2 more contractors, and then DEQ will get back with us and let us know what they're coming up with and possibly some ways to fund this, you know.
Kevin, nobody's, I mean, the owners, nobody's responsible for that?
It's basically walked away from it. You know.
The banks and all?
Yes. Yeah, Jonathan was there on our meeting on the 26th, and he updated us too, as far as the legality of everything. And the state had bonds back in 2015 or 16, or whatever that was, and let them lapse. So nothing that the parish did wrong here
I know.
on that. So yeah, but if another plant like that, the parish probably would want to get involved a little bit more with the bonding and the licensing of it. So we maybe not have this happen again, you know. Something we can look at if another plant were to ever try to open up again or something similar. Yep, anything big like that, you know, because you can get, when they walk away from it, somebody's left holding the bag. And what we're trying to do is keep the taxpayers from holding the bag, you know. So I'll update y'all as things happen on that, you know. We cleaned up our scrap iron pile again. Got just under $9,000 of scrap that we hauled off. I'll go back into the budget. Jamie has those checks. We had the chainsaw safety class today that y'all had approved. The guys went, talked to them just before I was coming here, and they were on their way back. The class started at 8 this morning, finished at 3. And so I talked to Brian, and one of my other guys was riding with them. They really enjoyed the class. So they got a lot of safety pointers on that. So I'm gonna get my guys that went to put a class on for all of our crews as we're working to help on that. And then the 20th of this month we'll do our employee luncheon. So I'll get with all of y'all on that. Hope everybody can come. We had a good meal for Thanksgiving for all the employees. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. Any questions?
Yeah, did you want to mention anything about Garen?
We have a meeting tomorrow at Garin, the city of Marksville, along with Delta Engineering, and to look at possibility of removing the culverts and building a new driveway into Garin's plant. Tunica Biloxi did offer some ways to do it to the city of Marksville, and that'll be for the city of Marksville and Tunica Biloxi to work that out. We as a jury have offered our services to remove the old culverts if a new driveway is made for the Garin plant. The jury had installed those culverts 30 years ago, 35 years ago. So, but that had been talked about probably last year, you know. But I already told them that we were available to go remove the old culverts. But as far as the driveway and everything, that's between the city and Tunica.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to attend that meeting tomorrow, but Mark said he would try to go. Mr. Darrell and Mr. Clyde are going to try to make it.
No, I'm not gonna make
You're not going to be able to make it. Yeah.
No.
So,
You guys to that, we know this parish's position is simple, straightforward, so.
yeah.
I'll go a little while.
Anything else?
Anybody else? Any questions? Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, next we have permits, Ms. April.
Okay. November, we didn't have as many permits as we normally do. Had a lot less, 98. 34 rentals, 13 purchase, 17 electrical, 11 new constructions, 11 mobile homes, 7 contractor renewals, 2 generators, 1 RV, 2 solar panels. Normally November, December, and January are very, people aren't building right now.
Okay.
So, other than that, Planning Commission, December 18th, and another solar farm committee meeting, January 16th.
That's the 18th is the main meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
No questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you. Next up, we have HUD, Ms. Crystal.
For the month, we moved in 2 people. We had 1 that got off HUD. I recertified 14. Mr. Martin did 1 re-inspection and 9 annual inspections. And that's it.
You got him lined out and working pretty good?
Yeah.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you, ma'am. Next up, Ms. Neely with the library.
How you doing? Miss Jamie was, I had given her, y'all a report. Okay. I am pleased to report that the library has made steady progress throughout the year with our continued growth and improvements. I believe that we have stayed aligned to our goals of fostering growth and success throughout our community. I'd also like to report that we've made great strides in building a stronger connection and a more effective partnership with our board, along with partnering with fellow community leaders to support their respective community needs. Regarding the 2025 board-approved budget, besides the last major building capital project expense for the Marksville parking lot repairs, we plan to remain fully within the projected revenue of $1,077,000, supported by the 6.2 mills. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to continuing our work serving our community.
Miss Neely, we were supposed to meet up, you and I had emailed you back, but I don't know, we didn't make communications, but Jerry, as a recommendation, wanted, they have a $200,000 parking lot and also a $50,000 engineering. And Neely, not to say, I'm not saying no, just that there is a renewal that's up for place. And we could always amend that next year, and hopefully it works out in your favor on the renewal.
No doubt.
That can be put back in, but again, what are we gonna tackle come next year, is what I'm just wondering when it comes to the libraries, or how much money they might need.
I feel like
to
that's all
operate.
up to what happens Saturday.
So,
You know, the
my
results.
point is that we may want to just put that on hold, leave that in Jamie, take that out of the budget now, then if we want to come next year, we will know what the facts are then and can amend. Is that okay, Jamie, to do?
Perfectly fine.
Are you talking about the parking lot, Tom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Just, as not saying no, just that.
You don't wanna do it right now? You
Sir?
saying you don't wanna do it right now?
Well, I'm just saying they have a renewal. What happens if it
Exactly.
doesn't get renewed? And then all of a sudden, we have to go back to the drawing board.
Well, we know about our next meeting if it got renewed.
Maybe we
That's
should cross
right.
that bridge
That-
when we
But
get
that
there.
next meeting is January. We have to have this budget in by the end of
No, the
December.
next
No,
meeting-
their
next meeting
election is
Tuesday.
Saturday.
This weekend.
Election Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, well, no Tuesday, if it's
No
renewed.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Get out and vote.
So Travis, are you saying that if the renewal does not get,
If it fails.
let's go worst case scenario, renewal doesn't pass on Saturday, that means it's gonna indefinitely put a hold on fixing that parking lot?
That's for the jury to decide, but I mean, you wouldn't want to start spending
Well, they have
money
to.
and not having, it, and then having some type of millage renewal, issue.
I'm just saying, I
There.
don't think we should take it out, because we'll know at the next meeting, which is Tuesday, whether we passed it or not.
It's just a
Yeah,
simple
leave it
flip
like
of a
it is.
button.
Well, and the 6.2
Then you
is
take it
throughout
out.
2025 too, just saying.
Fred, how much is that estimated to cost?
That is a low estimate that I had put, I
Depending
believe.
on what option they look at, but the low end is probably a little over 200,000. That's just to go take out what you got and
It
put
is a
another
low
4-inch
estimate.
slab back. I mean, it's 1,800 square feet, it's a lot of concrete to take out. If you want to go with some, we looked at asphalt as well, I think that's a little over 300,000. And then we looked at, based on the geotechnical report, which recommended we put 6 inches in the drive, 6 inches thick, and 5 inches in the parking area. That runs up the cost a little over 400, maybe 450. So we've got 3 different options, 3 different prices. Again, the geotechnical report, it runs up the cost about 450. And if you just go back with take out the slab and put another 4-inch slab back, it's a little over 200,000.
Yeah, but you wouldn't wanna do that. You gonna put a base, salt cement on?
I think with the geotechnical report, yeah, we're gonna put a stone base. We'll put in stone and we'll put 6 inches of concrete. It's gonna be, jointed and,
Must be 4
no, 6 inches thick. It'll be dialed and it'll have expansion joints and everything. It'll have the full joint requirements that you need to prevent it from destroying itself through, expansion.
Is that concrete now or is it asphalt?
Yeah, concrete.
It's concrete right
The
now.
road drives asphalt, right? You go in, the road.
No, it's all concrete.
It's all
It's all
concrete?
concrete.
All broke.
Okay.
I don't know how like Monton Street can last since the 30s and it's in perfect condition.
That's because you alone built it.
Okay, any
All
other
right, I
questions?
guess we just leave it and they see
Well, I mean,
chips
I
fall
guess-
when they make.
Whatever you want, it doesn't matter.
No big deal.
Well, I understand that it's not Tuesday, but my question is this, if the tax doesn't pass, then, I mean, is there just not gonna be enough money where the library is gonna have to close?
They'll probably put it on the March ballot.
Closing's
Why would
not
we put it on the
gonna
March
happen.
ballot?
Downsizing would happen.
You just don't listen to the voters on Saturday.
It would be just, it would be
I mean,
having a
I'm sorry. If
downsize,
they
not
put it on the ballot
close.
on March,
You wouldn't have taxes that fail.
And you put it on-
and You
you
put it on the next ballot
why,
and
for,
pass.
for less voters, so you get it passed? But you don't,
Well, I
you
don't
don't
think it's
respect
gonna-
what December 7th said?
I don't think it's gonna fail anyway.
I'm
think
not
it's gonna
saying it will or
pass.
not,
Yeah.
I don't believe in reposting it.
Well, that's.
Well, we done that, they done that before.
We'll cross that bridge when we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyhow, if it
That's
doesn't,
what I-
anything, if you don't have the money, you're gonna make cuts.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
So that's the fact of
And like
life.
you said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there and take another plan action.
Hopefully we don't have to jump in. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to that, right?
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, next up, I have Mr. Lamore with the third budget.
Good evening, jury members, everybody in attendance.
And that's not very little.
All right, for the month of November, I responded to 17, around 17 intentional litter complaints. Those were mainly people calling in, hey, there's a trash bag on the side of the road in front of my house. Went out, I investigated it. 2 out of the 17 actually had some personal information in them, so that's cases that I can possibly work. And then especially after our meeting we had this week, now we kind of know what my authorities are there. So we'll continue to work those. All of the trash was picked up. Naturally, once I go through it, I inventory everything. I look, see if there's any personal information, anything I can do with it. I bag it all up, and at the end of the day, when I pass going home, I drop it off at the dump. I responded to 2 nuisance property reports. These were actual physical paper reports that came in through the permit office from a citizen in Avoyelles Parish. These are going to be very complicated. There's multiple property owners involved. And when you start dealing with these nuisance properties, I'm sure Mr. Charlie can attest to this, and you got liens on properties and everything else, this will be a long, drawn-out process with these nuisance properties and abandoned properties. But I'm logging everything, keeping everything. We built a database. We got pictures. We got good notes on everything, when we had addressed the situation and all that. So we'll continue to work those. Just riding around myself throughout the parish, I found lots and lots of nuisance and abandoned properties. So it's going to be a continuing thing. We're just going to have to take a couple at a time and try to start knocking some out. It's going to be complicated. I picked up multiple tires and trash bags throughout the parish. You know, as I'm riding around, if I see something, even if somebody doesn't call, I just pick it up, throw it in the back of my truck. I go through it. If I don't find anything, I bring it to the tire. Mr. James at the thing gave me a whole book of tire sheets that I can fill out and just go drop the tires off when I need. Responded to 2 permit site visits for Miss April, and then also there was a concrete truck that I followed that was going down towards Barlonville. I followed him, and there was some new construction, and called her back. She checked into it, and the guy had a permit. Everything was legit. So 3 permit for the month of November. I did attend the Keep Louisiana Beautiful seminar with the Lieutenant Governor and Miss Susan Russell. She's the director. And got some good information from them. There's a lot of stuff available from the Keep Louisiana Beautiful Act and the program itself, especially on the educational side of it. I was on the website most of the morning today, And, I know Travis asked me to go to one of the school board meetings probably in January. I actually got a lot of good stuff from that website to bring with us, to that meeting. They have, everything's there for the teachers. I mean, everything, the curriculum, everything, the lesson plans, everything. But, anybody that wants to go look at that website, there's a lot of good information there. I did get the emergency lights for the litter abatement vehicles. We had got the quote, we had everything, y'all had approved everything. I got it over to Mr. Sanders, he's just waiting for them to come in. Those will be important, because I found myself in a situation, I think about a week or so ago, down a little narrow road, trying to dig through some trash in a ditch, and I mean, it was in a curve, and I got just my flashers on, you know. Whereas if I have some lights, some blue lights flashing and stuff, it'll kind of draw somebody's attention, slow them down a little bit. And then yesterday, when I went, or day before yesterday, when I was on Highway 107, man, they fly down there. I mean, so just kind of slow them down a little bit when I'm on the side of the road. I got 2 outstanding quotes for vehicle decals. One was from Mr. Manuel in Beldo, and the other one was from the place in Hesmer. They haven't gotten back with me yet. I put a note here, we need to address the situation with illegal signage. I noticed a lot here in Marksville, but on Bunky's horrible as well. There's a couple of towns that are just horrible. So like all these vote signs and this and that and everything, all these little signs that you stick in the ground, election signs and all that, there's actually a law in here that says that that's illegal on public right-of-ways and like by the intersection, by Walgreens, they're putting signs behind signs. You can't even see the signs. It's illegal, and we can find out who they are, and within 30 days, if they have not, they get a certified letter. If they have not removed that sign within 30 days, we can cite them.
I think that something like that, you leave up to the cities or the towns or the villages.
We have a parish ordinance against it, though.
Yeah, they got a state ordinance against it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to be going in these city limits and start, writing letters and stuff. Let, like Marksville, take care of theirs, Mansura, so on and so forth. Need to take care of their own stuff.
So whatever y'all got.
You can make them aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just making you aware of the situation. I mean, I'm sure y'all all see it. It's at every intersection,
Yeah.
There's one guy, he's even gotten smart enough, he gets on a ladder now and puts it up where you can't get to it.
And especially
Would you
closer
agree
it
with
gets
that,
to the election. they
Yes.
really just start.
So election signs are okay, but they're supposed to remove them within 30 days
Right.
after the
You
election.
agree with that, Charlie? Let the municipality take
I mean,
care of it.
obviously, the towns have their own ordinances
Yeah.
and should be responsible for
Yeah.
that. And I know some of them may not want to do anything.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You don't even have to go through the citation. Once they leave it, you can go through the citation. But if they leave them there, they put them on right of ways. I know the highway department used to pick them up.
Well, I mean, yeah,
They just pick them up.
technically it's their property. I don't want to be,
Or mow them down.
Yes.
I'm just throwing it out there. It's getting to be a problem. I see it already, first thing. Pending items I got hanging out, we still waiting on the cameras. I'm waiting on the Wildlife and Fisheries to get back with me on what cameras to buy before we just buy some cameras, because I don't know what the best cameras are for surveillance. We know they're important. We've already talked about it for these dump sites, and we're gonna get them. I'm waiting on them to get back with me on what model and what brand, works the best. Because I know Anderson told me, DJ told me that they had 2 different cameras. The first ones they were using were fine. The second ones they got now are not doing that great of a job. Can't capture license plates and whatnot. So as soon as they get back with me, I'll try to get a quote and get it over to the jury. The office building, Kevin already got with him. He said it's supposed to be coming next week. I'm guessing that's still a go. And in closing, I'd just like each litter committee member and anyone interested in cleaning up our parish to visit that Keep Louisiana Beautiful website. Like I said, there's a lot of information on there. A lot of people we can reach out to. It's not just about my part of it, the enforcement. It's about, getting the community involved. Education K through 5. I mean, there's a lot more into getting the city cleaned up than just enforcement, because just enforcement's not going to work. Just one man out writing tickets ain't going to work to get the city cleaned up. You got to get some programs. We got to get some community events, get out there and get started cleaning up. And once it starts and people start cleaning up and they see people littering again and they know that they just went out and cleaned that street last week, it's gonna start straightening out. It's just gonna take some time. It's gonna take some community involvement. I plan on personally reaching out to all the mayors of each municipality and see about maybe starting something like do a community at a time, you know, throughout the year. Do a cleanup on a certain bad road that they have, whatever the worst road is in their community. Maybe we can organize something and work together.
Did you, when you went to the meeting, did you hear anything about, when we talked in this, I think, that deal about some grants?
All the grant money's closed for the year.
Okay, but
There is grant money, but when you start reading into all the stipulations, it's a lot to keep up with.
okay.
So, what's that?
Okay.
They just closed in December. Everything was due in December, and naturally, I just came on. I didn't have time to even look into it. So like the garbage receptacles, you have to have somebody report how many tons of garbage comes out of each receptacle I mean, like, it's a ton of work for somebody. You're almost better off just buying your own receptacles and now the cameras and stuff, that may be worth
Yeah,
looking
that's
at.
what I was.
But the stuff where someone has to keep all that historical data on how much garbage we collect out of each receptacle, it's just gonna be way too much for us.
Kevin,
Yes.
we made a little rambling board a while back about them cleaning a parish road a month. Are we
Yeah,
still doing that, or-
they haven't done one a month. If we have one bad, we'll call them and they try to work it in their schedule.
I got you.
I already told Barry.
Yeah, they're not obligated, but he's got
We met with them about a year
connection.
ago and
Yeah.
encouraged them, y'all know.
Barry and I talked about that, and so if you drive down one, let me know, I'll go look at it, and then we'll get with them.
Yeah.
Kenneth talks to them pretty regular about everything. Also, Barry, I think they're gonna start their mayor's meetings for all the mayors of the parish again. As soon as they start that, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We'll both go.
That'd be good. Okay, appreciate it. And last thing I got was for the libraries. I don't know if you're aware of it. On that same website, you can go. The libraries can go and request the little grab bags with the safety vests and all that. Okay, it's a plain as day tab at the top. I mean, you can get it for free. Basically, what that is each library can request cleanup equipment. So if they have like a Boy Scout group or a class from the school or whatever want to go out and clean up on a Saturday, they can go sign this stuff out from the library. It's trash bags, safety vests, and the little hand grabbers. And it's basically no cost. I got an email from her right before I came up in here. So the libraries get that free from the KOB. With that said, that's all I got. Any questions?
Barry, let's say you're driving, you're following somebody and they throw some garbage out the window. Can you do something about that?
I can follow them.
That's it?
I can follow them.
He can take the license.
I do not have the authority to
You can't stop them.
stop them.
Take
I'm
out
not
the
I'm not an
license plate
enforcement
number.
officer.
Contact the sheriff's office and be the witness to swear out an affidavit.
We hashed all that out this week at the meeting. As far as what my legal authorities are. I'm not a cop.
Right.
I wanna ask something too.
But I can get their license plate number
Yep.
and turn it over to
Be a
the,
witness to?
well, I have to go to the sheriff's department, fill out an affidavit, and then they'll run the license plate, find out who it is, and they'll contact them and we'll write a citation.
I wanna ask something. People that, for instance, he was talking about following somebody throwing trash out. What about if they throw in animals out?
Same
3
thing.
times this month.
Same thing.
They're litter?
Animals falls into littering.
You
Yep.
mean dead animals?
Yep.
They're throwing out live animals.
Well, if it's live animals, that's the Humane
It's
Society.
animal cruelty. They can be arrested for that also.
Well, it happened 2 weeks ago. Somebody posted that they were following a lady who threw out 3 or 4 kittens. And then I ran into a man yesterday, at the vet's office. They had rescued a kitten. They were following these people and they threw 3 kittens out. 2 of them were killed and 1 of them they rescued. Yeah, yeah.
So that's same situation, just get a license plate.
Number? And I know you can't.
Call me, I'll go to the sheriff's department, I'll do an affidavit.
And what about dead animals on the side of the road?
Well, you have to catch them.
No, but I mean, if somebody hits a dog, is the highway department?
That's up to the highway department or state. I mean, it depends if it's a state road or a parish road, I guess. Yeah, I don't go around picking up dead animals. I'll pick up tires, but not dead animals.
All right, thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
All right, moving on, engineer, Brett.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I've got an engineer's report in front of y'all, handed out. I'm gonna ask you to go to page 3 because most of that stuff on the first 2 are some redundant information from previous. The health unit generator project is moving along. The automatic transfer switch is in and work has begun at the site. And I think they're gonna install the automatic transfer switch the week of the 16th and the 20th. And we're expecting the generator to be in toward the end of January, and then it'll be installed. A little further down, under the grants and funding, we did get funding notice of a CWEP application for $17,500 for the Southwest Avoyelles Water District, which is going to be used for extending their water service. And on 4, the 2 highlighted areas are grant opportunities I'd like to make you aware of. One of them is for Water Sector Phase 2, Tricia Park. The state's announced another round of water sector funding, and we had previously applied for some more funding for the sewer system at Tricia Park. Again, in our previous applications, I think there was a 25% match. So we were looking at getting a total with the jury's 25% match and the state funds of about $725,000. Now the program has changed a little bit, and I don't think we have to commit local funds, but if you do, you get more points toward being awarded the grant. In that particular case, it'd be about $150,000 in local funds that would generate $426,000 of state funds, for a total of $576,000. So I just want to make the police jury aware of that funding opportunity to leverage those state funds, and just kind of let us know if it's something that is of interest and needed. But most of this work would be sludge removal and work at the treatment pond, and then doing infiltration work, spot infiltration improvements along the system.
Did we have to match the money we got for the road and the sewer system at Tricia Park?
No,
We didn't have to match.
zero match.
Huh?
I think
That was the
zero
ARPA
match.
money.
Not ARPA money.
Some of it was ARPA, but it doesn't matter. But I wanted to say right there, give me a minute, we did the smoke test in part of our first phase to try to see what we had. And the smoke test revealed a few spots in there where we knew we had some leaks. But I can tell you, we have a whole lot more than that. When we had these big rains, I was over there every day, either cutting both pumps on or cutting the high flow switches off. Talked to Mark about it one time. Steve went a couple of times, and the pumps got overwhelmed when we had these big rains. We all know there wasn't that much sewer coming in there. It wouldn't have been no more than normal, which normally stays about 10 foot down. But at one point, it got up to about 2 foot from the top when we had that big 5-inch rain. So we're getting a lot of infiltration. So one of the things, if opportunity comes up, I would strongly, hopefully recommend y'all look into it, because it's going to get worse, you know.
How many homes are down that street?
About 40, 35, 40,
Yeah.
somewhere in that
I
area.
don't know if it's that many.
I think it's about.
You know, half of
it's
it's
less than
yours.
that.
I know, it's tremendous, the
It's at
amount of
least
money
12
that's
to
been
15 on
spent
the
and what
side.
that dude did back in the 70s to
Yeah.
give that to the police jury
Yeah.
as a present.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's millions of dollars, and look, still a problem.
Well, that's gonna be forever.
We fixed that manhole at the whole top was busted off. The guy did a good job.
But I mean, in the village, it has.
There's a lot of water going
That's
into
what's
that
gravity
brand new
flow.
pump system
Don't
that
have all
it
that
had to try to keep up with.
Have gravity.
So that's probably all we got left, is the pipes, right?
Yes, sir, and the sludge at the ponds, that's never been
I think there's like
over with.
20.
That's all.
That's
good.
contract work?
Huh?
The sludge at the pond? That's
Yeah,
contract?
it has to be brought out, processed. Ponds are getting very shallow.
Part of silk?
Okay, so just for consideration for the jury, on item number 4, there's another grant opportunity, not necessarily directly for the jury, but just want to let y'all know that there are funds available for LCDBG, an application for Southwest Avoyelles Water District, for them to get money to extend their water system and tie in to, what is it, Grand Ronne
Yeah,
system, Prairie Ronne system. Just letting y'all know that grant opportunity's out there. I know Brendan's at the They're meeting this evening and touching base with them on that. So I just want to let y'all know that there is a funding opportunity, not necessarily for the police jury, but for the parish. Other than that, any questions on anything? I've also included some maps on some of the repair work for Tricia Park and for extending that water system in this second grant opportunity for Southwest.
Refresh on some on CDBG. Is that just for utilities or
It depends. They have different programs.
if a fire district applies for it?
Yeah, they have multiple programs. Some of them's water, sewer, some of them's facilities, some of them's roads.
Rick, I understood the Southwest Waterworks was no pipe,
There's no way.
was no new water lines.
Well, the extension's probably almost 7 miles of new water line. One of the problems they're having is they're undersized and they're having some issues meeting the water quality because of the low pressure. So they're less than 3-inch lines toward the end of that system.
I was told wrong.
That we are looking at upgrading, but the whole project's just under 7 miles of line, 6 to 4 inch.
It's a lot different from none.
Yeah, and that'll also tie in to this other smaller water system so they can swap water and pressure between the two systems. If one gets low, they can share. But then there'll be enough capacity in the new lines to be able to allow that to happen. Anything else? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all, you free to leave. Going to the business side, we'll go through the order, letter A, is that we'll be appointing Renee Burrell to the Airport Authority Board. B, Alan, you wanna talk to us a little bit about the Big Bend?
There's an estimate too in the
You
packet.
got an estimate in the packet, right?
Yeah, there's an estimate in here, but, Big Ben, Boubenard gave me this, he got this, from, Richard, who is a contractor. And, that's the estimate of the repair work that needs to be done over there.
Okay.
The back room is, leaking water, and it does need, I've been over there. If y'all haven't been to the Big Bend Museum, try to take a ride and go see what they're going on. The lady who's running it is doing a fabulous job of bringing a lot of kids in. They have a thing going on this Saturday over there. Sunday, there's another event.
Next Saturday.
Huh?
14th, next Saturday.
Yeah. They have several events going on yearly now, every month. And she's done a really good job of bringing people in, so.
Okay.
Kevin, the board for the bridge.
I'll know something tomorrow or Friday. He was at the chainsaw class today. He's gonna try to get over there.
All right, let's see, gonna abandon Lake Pro Road, that all looks good, Travis? I mean,
Yes, Miss, again, guys, I think we went through it, everything is fine, on that, Miss Jamie, for the whole board meeting, can you have abandoned a portion of
Sure.
Lake Pearl Road, please?
Sure.
After we build, we'll give her the GPS coordinates.
Okay. All right, D, same thing, that's the Norman Road, I think we had signatures on that, didn't we?
Right, we had all the landowners, signed a, letter asking us to, it's a portion of the road, it's not the entire road.
And again, we'll supply GPS coordinates once y'all approve.
And letter E would be, Travis adopting the revised proposed budget, we'll make a motion for that, I guess.
Yes, see in front of y'all guys, if you have any questions, me or Jamie, or the president for that matter. you'll recall, try to answer.
And we have to do separate motions for the district attorney's budgets. So he has a revised and a proposed, so that has to be separate from our,
Both of them have to be.
yes,
Okay.
Is it up?
next.
Next,
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, F, we'll make a motion to adopt the DA's revised and proposed.
Okay, I have a question about, we usually do, we always do a motion for your revised and then a motion. I need to discuss it, please, if you don't mind, because there's some differences that I need to be able to document. So, Mr. Charles submitted his budget of 280. I have it on my end at 240. 240 on mine.
We had an informal meeting, and I thought we
It-
cut it from 292 to 280.
Mr. Chairman, would you like to?
Yeah, we looked at it again and got some more information down. One difference that we had there was a lot of, which again is within your budget, but a lot of insurance costs also really high per employee.
Based on what? That I'm too generous with the insurance
Yeah,
policy?
some of them being very high, like
Yeah, they're old.
$15,000 and $20,000.
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them were less than that, depending upon age. So, first off, insurance is not part of the police jury budget.
That's how you dictate it.
Huh?
That's how you dictate it.
No. This is the budget for the police jury. There's nothing about insurance in the police jury budget. And I only charge $240, this year it's $292 of my total budget to the police jury. When you're obligated to pay a lot more, but I don't ask for a lot more. In fact, I didn't ask for $292. That was last year's budget. I'm down to $280. And you're telling me that because I'm too generous to my employees, that you want to cut $40,000 from my budget that the police jury pays?
You have $9 right here. You have a $2 million budget. We have a $2.4 million total
What?
budget for the police jury. So we're trying to cut across the board. We have
When did you
no
discover this without telling me ahead of time so I could be prepared?
Hey, where is it written that I have to let you know? I didn't know, Miss Jane. Is that something that I need to know, or the finance chairman?
It would be professional to let the district attorney who represents you know that you're trying to cut my budget $40,000 when it's not even included in the police jury part. Why?
Why you swaying? Why don't
Because I'm pissed off. You want to cut my budget $40,000?
Oh, it's just me?
Well, wait.
Is it just me?
I don't know. Who else decided it?
Ain't me.
Who else decided it? Okay, we had an informal meeting. I think Alan was there, you were there. And I agreed that I would cut it from 292 to 280. When was it discussed that it's going to be cut to 240? When he's saying that the insurance is too generous?
We had another meeting,
Without notifying me?
we did notify you, I didn't think we had to.
What? Oh, no. You're not required to notify me, but you're talking about my budget. If you're going to cut my budget after we had that first
Well, I
meeting
agree with that point.
by 40,000, I should know about it because I don't have an error in here. The police jury budget is at 280. And he's saying that my insurance is too generous for my employees and wants to cut 40,000 more from the police jury budget when I don't even charge the police jury any amount of insurance for my employees. Now, I want y'all to think about that. So where am I going to cut in the police jury budget? Which employee do I let go? Because most of it is salary. The vast majority of it is salary. Yeah, I'm upset.
We could talk about it right now as a whole jury.
Okay, well, I'll wait till Tuesday.
We can,
But I hope y'all don't make motions to approve this amendment, do you?
On Tuesday they do, that's why I want them to
no,
talk
that's
about
what
it now.
we need to,
It's not going to be decided tonight.
No, sir.
Okay.
But
Well,
we need
please
to
do.
discuss it.
And if you want to get
So-
with me on where's the 40,000 come from the police jury budget? Let's talk about that. I mean,
There's cuts across the board. I mean, Mr. Troy, I understand, and you're getting a little upset. Hey, I understand.
you darn
But
right,
it's
because I got to go back to the
across
office and tell people.
It's to everybody that's across it. Did you look? I don't know. You probably didn't, but just
Oh, no, I
to
look at-
go back again when we come back to revenues and expenditures in our general fund.
I know it's down. I
No,
know it's
no.
it's
But
horrible.
remember, you're talking about just your department. You're
Of
not talking about
course.
the police jury. You're not worried about it. But it's
No,
on
I
the
worry
first
about it,
line
which is
right
one
here.
reason why I don't ask for increases every year.
Mr. Charlie, the expenses keep going up and the
I know.
revenue, you know how it is.
But
The
there's a
numbers
statute
directly
that says the
reflect it.
police jury has to fund the DA's office, and for 23 years, I have been good to the police jury, not asking for more.
And it says, what does it say, the word reasonable?
Yeah,
Okay, so where is the dollar amount that says reasonable?
the fact that my total budget is 1.5 and I'm asking for the police jury 280.
So what if you wanted a $3 million budget? The police jury would have to
No,
increase it that
that would
much?
be unreasonable. And a court would decide that, but it doesn't need to get that far. I really think, and hello, everybody, I'm sorry I lost my cool. But I can tell you, not telling me, after we already had a meeting, discussed it, I agreed to cut it from 292 to 280, and then somehow having a meeting, and all of a sudden tonight, I find out that another 40 is being cut out? I wish, Travis, you and I have been friends for a long time.
Nothing to do with
You
that.
could have easily called me and said, well, your insurance is too high. We even talked about insurance. I have a good policy for the employees because they don't get paid that much,
We had
okay?
to fix this before.
All right, thank you.
We ain't gonna win either.
Can we discuss it tonight? That way I know what direction I'm going
We
in,
ain't gonna win this argument. Let me tell you that.
you know.
We'll discuss what?
Well, no, I need them to be on the same page. That way when I go back to my computer, I can plug in the number that I need, you know.
two.
One for Mama Jamie.
Cutting 40 and one without.
Yeah, I mean, it's a click of a button, but we still need to know.
Don't know this, huh?
page seven.
We ain't gonna win.
29 years ago, Allison, you remember what happened?
We ain't gonna win.
I represent the police jury.
So-
The DA sued. I don't ever want to sue the police jury. It
We've
messed
been
up
sued and we lost.
And for a year, you didn't have the district attorney's office represented. Mark was the only one. that was
Yeah.
represented.
29 years ago.
The law is still the same.
And
I want to do.
Any suggestions?
On a different note, I would like for us to consider some form of a calendar for these budget meetings, so everybody knows when they are and we don't have multiple meetings on the same day. I don't know what it would take to get that accomplished, but I'd like for us to consider that. Because there's been a couple of times when I had two meetings that I would have liked to have been involved with at the same time.
Well, this is a recommendation from the finance committee, which you've got basically right now. That doesn't mean it's written in stone.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So the finance committee had a public meeting on this?
No.
No, it was the committee that did.
Who's on the finance committee?
Alan, Pop, and Travis.
So Pop wasn't there.
No, Pop ain't been in
And
anything.
it wasn't public?
No.
Well, it was the same type of meeting we had. We met,
No, I
met with
understand.
you and met with everybody else. It
Three
wasn't
of them
public.
had not- and I
And then,
thought
like
we
I
had
said,
a-
it's not written in stone,
I
okay?
understand that, but I thought it was worked out.
Okay.
That everything was good.
And I understand you being upset.
Well, yeah, I'm a little upset. I'm gonna go home and make.
Well, I'm saying right now, this is not in
And
stone.
Mr. Charlie, I hate to be, I'm not trying to be just the bearer of bad news or whatever, but next year when this tax reform hits, the
If it is.
40,000
You think
that
I'm
we're
voting
talking
for that?
about right now,
I'm gonna
it may
vote
not
against
be a
it,
whole lot more,
I'm
and a
gonna vote
lot of
against that
things could.
constitutional amendment because I think the local governments are gonna get totally screwed.
And Mr. Charlie, I hate to say it, but I think it's coming. But you and I, as well as everybody else, does not know. In this budget that we have, there's some things of solid waste, but when it comes to, and I'll just tell the jury, some of the things, it's just my opinion. Storms. There's a lot of things like that come out of our general fund. If our general fund, if your checking account stays, well, you can't stay in the negative because then, you get everything taken away from you. But just to say, you always have a fund and you're having a deficit that you're starting off at the beginning of the year with, not just everything. Things need to be cut down until revenue increases. And I mean, Mr. Charlie, with all due respect, it's not against you. Hey, why don't we have more taxes coming in? Why don't we have more industry? Why don't we just have a abundance of money? But $2.5 million for the whole year for the police jury's general fund. is not a lot. It really isn't in perspective. And our other funds, Ms. James did a very good job. Every fund has stayed within itself. We haven't transferred. I mean, but if we give and we're in deficit, then what happens at the end of the year? What happens in a storm? What happens at the ifs? We're the ones holding the bag. Juveniles, $65,000-$70,000. That wasn't your fault, was it, Mr. Charlie?
Nope.
Nobody's fault in here.
No, I didn't.
But who paid the bill? Who paid the bill? The police jury. And I'm just saying, these extras, all of these things.
Were two of them police jury? I thought one of them.
No, there was 3. We ended up getting 2 paid, but 1 we actually got for $60-something thousand, I think it was. Just something like that, and you're already starting off in a deficit at the beginning of the year. Like, the math just doesn't work out. And it's, if the police jury wants to go in deficit and not worry about it,
Okay.
I don't need to be on the finance
Are you saying that when it was
committee.
calculated at 280, that you're in deficit for next year?
At 240, we're in deficit of a bunch of $100,000. So, I mean,
We got a cottonwood monofield coming up that we don't know what's gonna happen with.
True.
And it's right around the
Ms.
corner.
Jamie, is it not 300,000? Is that normally what the thing is on the deficit?
The proposal, the
Yeah.
proposed budget, it's a little less than that. And again, it's just simply a proposed
And that's
budget.
projection.
It doesn't mean it's gonna end there.
Propose a deficit.
I just propose a deficit because that's sort of the smart thing to do when you're budgeting, right? You
Right.
don't wanna say, oh yeah, we're gonna end in this
Well,
big
we all get a
surplus.
fund balance, correct?
Yes, we have it. I mean, if you go back to what I told you, it's not a lot, but you do have, what, 113,000? But again, this is a proposal only. That's it. It's just,
Jacob, third sheet, where she had in her expenses.
that's
Last
actual.
year, a year ago, like a year ago when they were here in '23, they said there would be 2.525 million. That was an estimation of budget.
Right.
Right now, 2.593 million, right now. We still have the month of December.
I've been through budget cuts in the past. Even the police jury had hard times, and our budget had to be cut in the middle of the year. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I proposed what I think is a fair budget based upon the law, a lot less than what I could get if a lawsuit would be filed. And that is the last thing. I would hate that, because I didn't like it when the previous DA did.
Let's see if we can fix it, all right, because this is, yeah, what you see right now is basically a submission, plan, it's nothing.
It's just a basic highlight of how we think the year is going to
I'll be here
go.
Tuesday.
Huh?
I'll be here Tuesday.
Well, we can fix it now. If we
Yeah,
want
I
to
would-
discuss it right now, we discuss
Well,
it.
nothing's final to the whole police jury.
But at least they would
Well, I
have a
know that,
better
but they can have
understanding.
some input
Oh,
to
I
lead
got
us in the right direction.
Yeah, I think y'all need to do that.
Well, I want the jury, we're gonna decide this before I ask any public.
Well, all I got to say is, from years past, Charles has been very lenient on us.
So you saying leave it at 280, okay?
Can you say leave it at 280
I'm gonna
and not
say
know it? and
it was
what's up?
290 something.
Let me tell you, that man could really, what we supposed to really do for the district
All we
attorney,
got was some more performance that
He's-
aren't there anymore.
not doing it.
Well, think about it this way.
Nobody said
We're
that
not
it
paying
was.
prison costs, but if David Dozat was to sue you, he would automatically win prison costs. That you would end up having to pay.
Kind of, sort of.
Because, no, Alan Parish just did it. And the police jury lost. The police jury's now out 25 million because they turned around and played the game and said, oh no, we're gonna cut the sheriff's budget, and he went back and sued, and now he won. Now they have to pay the prisoner costs. So I mean, tread lightly.
When we cut,
Well, just
Form
let
of-
them sue, and then it goes into it. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to budget. That's why we're here. And if you don't budget, well then, Mr. President, take me off the finance council, but I mean, the numbers are there. And they've
Right.
been like that for
I understand.
years.
Oh,
I understand what you're
years.
saying.
I mean, I'm not against Mr. Charlie, just saying across the board, benefits, all these other things have to have caps on them. We
Right.
have to do something to because the revenue's not increasing, but the expenditures keep going up.
And
I mean, I'm
Well,
sorry.
here's something else.
I'm sorry. It is what it
Okay,
is.
here's something else. If we don't pass this budget next Tuesday, that means we will have to have another special election before the end of the year to get it passed. So that's.
I do want to say one thing though, because when insurance costs went up last year, I told my employees that they're gonna have to pay for the increase. And that's, you know. so
Insurance is horrible on everybody.
And listen, so, you know, what I call a very good policy is a very good policy, but then having to pay the increases each year. Because we just can't do it. I mean,
Well,
we do make
it comes back with higher deductibles, like public and private entities have to do, Mr. Charlie. I've had to get them, and everybody.
Which is why the employees are paying the increase each year now.
So you have to drop some.
Any more, jurors, thoughts? Want to speak up?
George,
Anybody?
there, what's your spot?
No, I'm out of this loop.
We cut the last district attorney's budget. We didn't have no money at all. You can ask Allison. You know what he was ready to do? Take us all off this second floor and take it over.
Well, we can roll the dice.
Put us in the bathrooms down there.
We can roll the
And he
dice
had the
like
right.
Travis said. You know, we can just roll it and hope it works out.
Hey, you
Projected the
from
deficit
people to
right
do
now.
whatever, or you look at your numbers, and the numbers are the numbers. I mean, I don't understand.
And we can amend it, y'all, I mean, and we may have to with this tax reform.
And that's
I
happened
mean, that's
before.
what we,
I don't know.
that's what we do, we
Big
start
Allison.
off and,
I think Allison was.
Well, I'm just saying, if we can't get it passed next week tonight, yeah,
yeah, you get
yeah,
ready.
you gotta get ready for another meeting, or two, or whatever, how long it takes, you know?
And again, this is not, the proposed is not, no one knows how anything is going to go. It's just a mechanism that we use to guide us. So, okay, I have this amount of money. I'm not supposed to buy this expensive car, but I'm gonna go do it anyway. So, you know, that's what you're doing. It's not saying we're gonna have this gigantic deficit. It may be more, it may be less. I have no way to know that.
And we do
It's-
throughout the year, pull back and add in as we go.
Yeah, it's just it's a tool you use to guide you for future planning purposes, and that's what the proposed is. And we are not tested on the proposed budget, we are tested on the amended budget. So kind of keep that in mind. Things can change. I really don't know what's gonna happen. You know?
I'm assuming there are other cuts somewhere that the finance committee is also making?
Everywhere there is. I mean, we'll have to set limits. Hospitalization, I mean, you across, that there has to be, because remember, I mean, I did a little bit of political stuff before, but general fund is to general fund only. We have 6 or 7 or 8 other funds that she talked about, 7 million, 4 million, 2 million,
Correct,
1
I'm
million.
aware.
That by law stays in that account.
No, what I'm
So general
asking
fund
is,
has to stay on its own.
Besides the district attorney's budget that he thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be at 280, y'all are wanting it at 240, is there any other thing that typically that y'all are required to pay that y'all are also cutting the budget on that?
Look
Is what
at
I'm
it,
asking.
yeah. And that'll have to go through personnel, and there's other things that are happening where we'll have to look at also our insurance and what those values are, how we can save money. I mean, again, there's a
Well,
lot
that's
of
what I'm
other
asking,
things that are
in this
there.
proposed budget, are there
Mhm.
anything in there that's been lessened already to adjust this proposed budget besides what Charlie's asking for, his budget?
Miss Jamie, is there anything else in the Senate?
The reason why this all started from the meeting that I was involved in was cuts were going to be made across the board for our insurance, for our employees. That was gonna be reduced by half. That was the proposed, plan. And I think through conversation over a few weeks, that really didn't come to fruition. I left everything as it was before. You ought to decide tonight how you want to handle it. Do you want to cut it? Do you want to leave it? I'm just here to do what you tell me to do. And that is up to you.
What else major's been cut in the budget? We won't look at this weekend.
What's that?
What else major's been cut? Any other
I
cut?
took the Christmas programs out.
How
So
much was
that,
that?
I took, 8,000 out for the Christmas program. I took the 40 from Mr. Charles. Did not touch anything with employees' benefits. Waiting,
We won't know on health insurance costs until March.
Yeah.
whenever
That's
they
the
come
biggest
back.
problem.
In at that time. and
But we know
come
where they
up-
are
person will
now,
have to come up with a
and that's
plan.
how I left it,
Right.
where we are currently. Because we talked about reducing it to half. And I don't know if that's something you all wanna do, or just,
We did take out paying for new employees'
yes.
family
moving forward.
insurance.
Mhm.
We took that out. That's out of the budget.
No other agency,
Mhm.
no other agency, just like Mr. Charlie, agency, y'all decided to cut some other.
What we did with the
agencies.
corner?
Coroner's not cut.
The coroner,
Coroner's not cut,
Coroner
but
offered some
he reduced,
incentive to.
yeah,
he reduced his budget on his own
he's saving,
because of some savings he has from
on
some other areas.
toxicology with
So the
his
12,000
Getting a
that
new
Charlie,
machine, so it
Yeah.
should- it
Charlie
actually his
reduced,
budget
is not on his own?
His
Yeah.
expenditure should be a lot less
Well, let's
this,
give him
this
some
in
credit.
2025.
Right.
We just don't know, but it should be with the grant money that the state rep
with
got.
his machine.
But he can't really put a number on it because doesn't know how many tests. But again, he won't have to be paying for that and sending that out of Parish.
But y'all didn't reduce his budget, y'all.
No, he did, but,
He-
and
he
it
did
should, his
himself.
budget should work out where it should be less. How much, I don't know yet, I hope it's a
Just
lot.
one more thing about the insurance. I don't pay employees, spouses, or families insurance. They have to pay that if they want, okay? And now, we already know what the increase is gonna be, that they're gonna have to pay out of their own money, for this year also. I mean, this coming year also. So that's 2 years in a row, they're gonna have to pay the increases.
And we also have already priced other options, higher deductibles and stuff, and I can bring that to you, but it's
Not
It's
for me,
higher.
ma'am. I know it's a problem everywhere.
It is a
It's a problem everywhere, but, hey, it just, I had to accept it when I was in private business. We
I'm
have
just
to
gonna
pay
say-
and have high deductibles. It's just one of those things.
I think, put the 280 back in the budget. Make it work.
When all this
That's my
happened
opinion.
years ago, the jurors couldn't accept the check.
Mhm.
No money. Thank God the casino came along and
It'd be interesting to find out what happens in Baton Rouge with that legislation.
We still have to plan and move forward like we would normally do. Until that time comes, then we'll make adjustments. Otherwise, we cannot operate. If it's not adopted by the 15th of January, our budget is reduced by 50%.
I'm just gonna suggest that y'all adopt the 280 on Tuesday night. And I understand cuts if it happens. I mean, especially if this tax thing passes.
Yeah, because we'll probably have to amend anyway with that reform.
Right.
You know, we amend anyway, regardless, whether there's a reform, it's an amendment every year. Simply because your proposed budget is not the final budget. You amend it because this yellow highlighted area is what you're tested on for your audit. This is where I think you will end at December 31, not here. This is just something we use to guide us, say, okay, this is what we should do, this is what we shouldn't do. It could go either way. It could be a huge surplus, it could be a huge deficit. There's simply no way to know that, but based on what we've received in the past historically, this is what I'm going by. This is what I'm basing that budget on.
You don't look good, just hearing this conversation. It just seems from a business perspective, if an agreement was made with Mr. Charlie, and y'all agreed to, the 280, and y'all agreed to, and then the decision was made, then it seems like he should have been part of that conversation, where he don't come up here and be blindsided, because you got to have integrity when you're doing business. People got to trust you, and if if you having a conversation and y'all have a meeting, y'all agree to 280, he reduced it from 290 to 280, and y'all agree to it, then you come back and just throw this out in the open without him not even having no knowledge of it, that don't look good at all. That don't look good at all.
It don't. I agree with you.
That don't
Where
look
was
good.
the agreement at? I wanna know that.
They-
When we met in here.
We talked about it, that's right, we talked about it, that's right.
Right.
And that's what you said you would like, remember that? I didn't hear no agreement.
Well, you can't vote at that time, but I mean, we
Nope.
came up with that figure.
I don't know, man just said about my integrity.
No,
No,
I
no, no,
didn't
listen,
call-
listen,
I did.
I just heard just what you said.
I didn't call your
Don't go
name
down
out,
that road,
sir.
please.
I did
No,
not
no, no,
call
no, no,
your
no.
name out. I said
Hold
you
on,
gotta
hold
have
on.
integrity
Hold on.
in
Sir,
your
hey.
business. I didn't call
Listen.
nobody's name out.
This meeting
Then,
done got,
yeah, and no, I didn't call nobody's
Sir,
name out.
please,
Yes, sir.
please.
I didn't call nobody's name out.
Nobody said you
But
did,
he
but I'm
did, I
asking,
did.
I'm asking you
You
to come,
did talk
I'm
to
asking
him
you to
too.
come to order.
I'm
I'm
in
asking you to
order.
come to order.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Again, I'm gonna say this. The finance committee met. We met with the DA, we met with the coroner, we met with, we were supposed to met with the library, we didn't, they didn't show, so. But that, I don't wanna go there. But anyhow, this again, what you have in front of you is a recommendation, okay? That's all this is. And we're talking about it now. We can put the 280 back. You might have some not be happy with the 280 and want the 240. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying, you know, to work it out. But I will say this, there is a projected deficit. And that's hard to live with. That's hard to live with when you got people out there in the public that are anti-tax. They don't want to help you out, but they say you take what you have and make what you can out of it. And that's what we've done. We have investigated it, you know, and I have to say also, I said on the committee, this bunch has integrity. This whole bunch sitting up here has integrity. Nobody's integrity was insulted, okay? We met that day, nothing was written in stone. Maybe we should have reached out. Like, I can agree with that, okay? So, this is a recommendation.
Probably wouldn't have slammed my fist.
I don't think Travis is upset about it. I'm on it, and he's on it. I don't think anybody be upset about it. We're gonna put the 280 down, but you're gonna roll the dice.
The only place
And it's not, hey, and it's not,
is Washington DC that
Yeah.
continue to
Yeah.
have a multi-trillion-dollar budget.
Yeah.
We cannot print money here in Avoyelles. So when you're going into a year and you know even on your personal finance, I'm in the red. What do I have to do? I have to cut.
and
Where you want to cut, I don't care. I'm just making a recommendation, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help. How does Mr. Charlie doesn't, maybe his revenue's gonna go up next year. Why not he try? He can try hard. Everybody tries hard, but our general fund's been staying fairly consistent.
and I just wanna say this, guys, you know,
When it gets committed, if you commit money, then it makes it easier on some, but then where it falls back is on the 9 right here. And if you guys wanna roll like that, that's your decision, the majority rules. I'm just making a financial recommendation, that's all. No hard feelings.
and I just wanna say, this jury has done a lot better than in the past. All my committees have worked hard. All my chairmen have worked hard. And to come here and all of a sudden, you know, get upset with us trying to do what's right, I got a problem. I have a problem with that. So I'm asking my finance committee right now, y'all wanna stay with this recommendation, or do you wanna put it back at 280? Yeah, but understand it, it stays like.
If we put it back at 280 and have to come back later and have to cut again, I know we can talk to Charlie,
Yeah, we can.
because at some point in time,
Well, I don't want to, but I don't want to insult the hard work y'all did putting in up to this. Is what
There's,
It's okay.
Okay. We're
a
gonna
lot
put
of
it back at
different
280.
things have,
We're gonna submit it,
Thank you.
we're gonna put it
Going
back
on.
to 280, but again,
And I understand that.
okay.
We can,
Just let it be known that this jury is watching the money a little bit tighter than in the past. Okay?
We can revise anything.
We have to cut in the middle of the year.
That's what, this is just
Or-
proposed, and if at any time we see that we have a problem, we'll amend it. And that's just
All right,
what
we're
we
gonna
have
move
to do.
on, we're gonna move on. Okay, letter G is approve a 3.5% cost of living adjustment. Anybody want to discuss that, talk about that for our employees?
I think that's fair.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I'll be
Bye,
at
Ms.
you.
Allison. We'll be here.
Anybody?
I think
That's what's being proposed, we gave more last year, didn't we?
Four?
No, 4, and then the year before that was
Okay.
5.
We talked about this and we thought this was a good,
And it's worked in, so, in every fund.
Okay.
Except for health unit and library, they do their own. And she is giving raises, so she's done her own math.
Now, does any of that employee raise, do any employee funds come out of general fund?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
but some come out,
Of
come
other,
with, some come out
yes.
of
to-
Road
from
and
special
bridge.
fund.
bridges.
Different.
That's the
Drainage.
majority, there's like 6 in general fund, the remaining are from road and bridge, solid waste, drainage. Health unit's gonna do their own thing, library's gonna do their own thing, so it's not that much. You're not talking about a whole bunch.
People out of drainage.
all right?
That's killing drainage.
Fiscal agent, bank, Travis is not here. Jamie, you wanna elaborate, or I can, you know?
Whatever you wanna do,
No, I'm trying to, see, y'all, what are we trying to accomplish?
The theme of it was to work with the local banks, put more money back, take the people's money. It's the parish's money, it's our people's money, and put it back in a local, true local bank, where they can use it and help other people out in the parish. And we had 2 of those, one was, Cottonport, and the other one was Sensport, but, Sensport's,
Kind of null and void now. isn't it?
yeah, they're out of the picture.
How much are we saving with this right here?
the difference in, interest is 0.1%.
Where's the feasibility of this? Change all the tools.
Again, it was stressing just putting it back in the hands of the local people.
What banks we work,
We do business with Simsport, Cottonport, and Capital One. Our master bank is with Capital One, our big fund.
and all the employees at the
Capital One has 2 branches.
they have all the employees there from Avoyelles Parish?
Yes, sir. And Cottonport Bank, all of their employees are from here as well.
And when you change over, I mean,
We're leaving some at Capitol, and again, this is a proposal.
I've never
It's
changed
not in
before.
stone, you're
I've never
gonna vote
changed
on
it
this.
before.
And, okay, so we don't have any more outbursts, okay? Cottonport came in with a pretty good deal, but we also know that there's some things we need to leave at Capital One, but the majority of the business, if this passes, goes to Cottonport.
Is it a multi-year
And
deal?
they said here, he must have had
Had
10
6,
people with him.
yeah, 6 or 8 people with him.
Put a
from
nice
the bank.
presentation together, they wanna reach out and work with us. And again, it's local people, and, you know, it's local money. But money we handle comes from our people.
Yeah, it's an attempt to keep our money locally instead of it going to other places, Alexandria, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, wherever, New York.
But other than that, what's the benefit? Are you gonna make more money, more interest, more whatever off of your money there?
It's about the same. I think that
It was 1/10 of 1% difference,
0.1%,
so it's not a big change in,
no. In terms of what you're gonna
How much
receive for
trouble-
interest.
Jimmy,
Okay,
how
and
much
then
of
the
trouble
paycheck.
for you?
I've never had to move anything in the 10 years I've been here, so this is the first time for me. I don't know, I'm sure there's gonna be some pains with moving, you know.
But
This is
the
a,
employees have direct deposit now, correct?
yes,
So is that gonna also then have to be moved?
I will have to
everything?
go in and, you know, enter our our accounting system and change the routing numbers on each employee.
And Cottonport Bank said that they will have
As
people
far as the
available
transfer.
to help her
Yeah.
and
So-
walk her right through their system.
But direct deposit, you don't have to have an account at Cottonport Bank.
No, sir, but the routing number, okay, is tied to the bank, like Capital One. Now that
Same
if you
thing, yeah.
move, then you'll have to change the routing number to our bank. That's where the funds are gonna come from.
And I entertain the point, I wanna know why we never did business with a local bank before. I asked that, and, you know,
Well, we do business with
We
all
do.
local banks.
We have
do,
money with
we
all
do
of
business,
them.
I'm talking about the majority of it though. I mean,
I don't know.
so, I mean, the gist of it is just that we're trying to, it's locals helping locals. Again, this is a proposal, and, we listened to them, we, like I said, sent forth, just, I think they merged recently, right?
Mhm.
So we can leave it all with Capital One, okay, or we can move the majority of it, the gist of it to Cottonport. And still doing business with everybody like we're doing now. Except Capital One not being the main one, Cottonport being the main. I hope that explains it.
What do we do at Capital One? I mean, what business, what accounts?
It'll stay open. I have to leave it open because with Division of Administration, we get our electronic fund transfers for projects for Kevin, road, bridges, grant money, all has to come through there. And to have to go to Baton Rouge and change all those vendor numbers that have been established for years would be nearly impossible, to be honest.
But that's what we're doing.
I'm gonna leave.
Transferring all that.
No, sir. I've asked that, and I will ask the jury to allow us to leave that account open to allow those funds to be transferred in.
Transfer when it's coming to
Yes,
transfer.
and it's not money that's gonna stay because it comes in and we pay invoices. So it's not money that we're holding on to, but I need to leave that account open so that the state can deposit that money. Yes, transfer that money. If not, I'm afraid I would have a lot of problems and there would be a lot of errors in trying to transfer and move
We
and
poked the bear.
15 vendor numbers, it's a lot.
What'd you say?
God bless you.
Thank you.
So, move the money, the majority of it to Cottonport, leaving Capital One open, continue to do what we have been
I
doing.
didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work that we have to do because we have to calculate about how much we spend a month. We have to know, here's the cutoff when we'll stop writing checks, open this account, so it's a lot, but, we'll do it. That's what you choose.
Well, with the example of Simsport now, there's no guarantee that Cottonport Bank is gonna forever be just a local bank.
Not anymore.
Well, we kinda asked that, and that, we were reassured that they would. I mean,
Well, I'm sure when Simsport came and talked to y'all, they'd have reassured y'all at the time.
person's only as good as their word.
Right.
Okay, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Actually, Simsport didn't guarantee us that.
Right.
And there's some
And
things that they
we posed
could
that
not
question
do.
to Cottonport, you know.
I think their controlling interest is local right now.
All right, so that's, any other comments? All right. I'll be adopt a resolution authorizing the president to sign all documents to complete the subaward and enter a contract with Louisiana Department of Wildlife for the target range.
Yeah.
Okay, thank y'all. I think at the last meeting I mentioned that y'all had been awarded or were in the process of getting awarded the Wildlife and Fisheries Target Range grant. They've now started the paperwork and they asked that we pass a resolution authorizing the president to sign those documents. Doesn't really bind you to anything. Everything's still the same. The process will be to try and find a site, confirm that it's feasible, do those feasibility studies. If we find a site we think the thing's going to work, we think it'll generate its own revenue to support itself, then we would then move forward with the planning stage of designing, et cetera, et cetera. There's no liability for the financially for the police jury at this point, so guys, this is just an opportunity to see if it works for the parish.
Well, haven't nailed down a location yet?
No, we have not. We have a handful of locations. I've talked to some other people and came up with some more. So my thought is that we will pursue this thing. The state will give us a budget to pursue it. We'll pursue it until either everyone's tired of talking about it or we run out of the budget that they allow for us to try and find that site.
They're gonna allow you that money?
Yes, sir. Yes. So it's going to kind of be a partial award of the planning grant. They're going to allow us to have a budget for feasibility studies. If we can find that site and get all that worked out, then they'll give us the rest of the grant for planning, design, etc.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, Jay, parking lot rental? I have no idea what we're talking about
Okay,
here.
so this stems from an event we had a couple of months ago. We, as you know, rent the atrium across the road. Someone in my office authorized and allowed people to reserve that atrium, which I didn't know at the time was beyond the atrium. So I get calls that Friday morning. We have no access to the atrium. The back parking lot behind Red River Grill is completely cut off. There's trucks coming in, there's these gigantic tents, there's porta potties. So, the judges are a little upset. You know, they have to walk through that breezeway. Employees park back there, they walk through, everything's cut off.
So he's part of the atrium rental?
So what happened was, we knew this would open up a can of worms after it happened, so I got a call yesterday from someone that wants to rent the parking lot and the atrium. Well, I'm not gonna go into that unless you all authorize me to allow someone else to completely block off that space again, because it was a problem. And we'll work with them if you want to allow them to rent it, but simply charging someone $200 for the atrium and the entire parking lot for a weekend is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I mean-
But you can do it in business hours, so you can't do that.
And I kind of talked to the lady and I said, you know, I need to talk to the board, I need to get it approved, because we have to have some rules down on the books that we still allow our employees to walk back and forth without closing everything off. And then we had
During
homecoming,
business hours over there.
we had homecoming too at the same time, and they always use Bailey's for their events, and they use our parking lot, so it was a mess. So
We don't have to rent it.
we don't have to rent it, but if you want to rent it.
What kind of events are you talking about?
This was
Weddings.
Wedding. I didn't know
Weddings
anything
with a
that was just
live
was
band
going on.
and a
I went over there.
stage. Yeah, I didn't
They
know.
never coming to set up this. I said, they got employees parking right
Yeah,
here.
I did
You
not
know.
know this. This was approved
Oh, yeah,
by
The judge was
someone
parked there. He had to
that did
had to
not
call him up
inform
there
me.
to come move his truck.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
he was upset, and
I
rightfully
didn't know
so.
nothing about that.
I
You
didn't.
should have knew something about it.
Huh?
With anybody, they should have checked.
Well, I
it.
knew they were renting the atrium, but I
If
never
only we
knew
had
they
a
take over the
calendar.
parking lot.
But I thought that was your, under your control.
I didn't
Not
know,
if you don't know.
Well,
didn't know nothing about it.
if I understood right, they rented the atrium
They
and
did.
took over the parking lot.
Yeah,
did.
that's,
What happened. But it needs to be a stipulation
Well,
when we're
for
the
a
atrium.
wedding, they just
Yeah.
assumed that they could use the parking lot.
Well,
But this was during the week.
they
yeah, it
began
came
on a
on-
Friday
came on
morning.
a
It's
Thursday.
on Friday.
They was getting ready
Yeah.
for it.
It came on a Thursday and started setting
Yeah,
up.
it was a Thursday and a Friday, they were
Friday
setting all
morning,
that stuff
everything was
up. I
blocked
was
off.
here, Mark was here.
And it's fine, if you want to include the parking lot, I'm just saying that if that is your intention, I didn't wanna take it upon myself to tell this person, no, you can't, or yes, you can. I need you all to tell me, do
It'd be
you
hard
want
to
to do?
talk about.
I don't
It's
mind.
$200 worth that trouble.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying,
It's
that we have to rent
$200
it.
worth all this trouble.
No,
We were
So we can
talking,
just-
we also
Well,
talked
we can-
about
we can-
raising that
If
amount.
they do it on a, you know, if it doesn't obstruct what's going on during the week, if they're gonna come on a Saturday, that's fine.
and we don't have a
But
problem
the
with
early for the weekends, they might interfere.
Well, that's another thing we have to watch, and we don't have a problem with people using it, because people use it and they don't destroy it. This was just an event that was
Oh,
really,
they cleaned it up.
they did,
Or we put in our rules that it cannot be nothing done till after that certain time Friday evening.
I just think that if you're gonna do it, you just need to say, okay, you have people setting up here, but you cannot block the parking lot. You still have to allow our employees to access the breezeway.
We just
It's
tell them what
raining,
time they
I
can
mean-
set up,
Yeah.
designated
And
time.
and it's broad daylight, no one's gonna go in there and mess with their decorations or whatever they have going. People are just walking in and out, trying to get from their car back to work. It's,
I hate to tell people we can't use their parking lot
yes.
or their atrium.
So I would think, you know,
But we don't have to rent it.
Well, I understand, but
We rent it
again,
because
but $200
it doesn't actually
for a
belong
weekend
to us,
is-
it belongs to them.
is very cheap
$200
for
is,
a wedding venue.
But make it just simple that if you rent it, they can't set up in any way, shape, or form, or even use the parking lot until after, what, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, we put some guidelines, they
on
cannot set up
Friday?
anything before
Yeah.
5 p.m. on Fridays, and then early voting is out of question, they can't use it at all.
And you see, this event was so large that it took this amount of time to set it up. I
Yeah.
mean, and how are you gonna tell somebody, well, is your event large? If you having a large event, I'm sorry, you just can't set up.
Just-
I mean, you
Well,
can't do
if
that.
Set
they can't
times,
set up
set time
Or
frames.
whatever till after, on Friday, if they say, well, that won't work, well, then it won't work.
Yeah, and again,
What
$200.
time does everybody through here work?
Well, $200 will cover some of
Five o'clock.
the aggravation.
So
but-
just saying, parking lot is off limits till after 5 p.m. The day of the event.
Yeah,
but they, suppose you have late court.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, court's been going till 6 lately.
in a perfect scenario, in a perfect world, we'd have everything
That's when they
worked out,
read it,
but-
that's when they gonna have late court.
And there you go.
Well, it's hard to rent the thing without the parking lot coming into effect.
Yeah,
They
it's
got-
gonna,
They
because
gotta get there.
you know, the lady told me, hey, I heard there was tents out there, y'all rent the parking lot. I said, no, we didn't really rent the parking lot. Just,
they took it over.
they took it over, there was some miscommunication in my office, but we'll work through that. I just need to know the price, and do you want to do the parking lot with the atrium?
Well, I think you need to raise the price like everything else has
Well,
gone
for a
up.
Friday, Saturday, and you're cleaning up on Sunday, $500, you should not swap words for that. I mean, a wedding venue nowadays, $1,500, people are paying it, and they're not second guessing anything, they're just paying it. So I, you know.
They come around for 10, they got a nice venue.
I hate to see what that costs out there.
Yeah, there was a
Even
stage
more.
and a band, so it was nice.
But we don't have nobody, the other problem you have, you don't have anybody coordinating it for us. You had somebody coordinating this, that, hey, on the phone, you can't be there, what time y'all gonna play? No, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Permit
All we're doing is saying, yeah, you can rent it and taking the money, and
need the income.
Jimmy, run through the
that
permit.
chip's already made.
No, it comes through my office. And what happens is Mr. Joey and them were behind, you know, they could see
Yeah.
everything that was happening.
So what do you recommend?
Well, Joey was out there watching,
Yeah,
You want to go up on the rental?
I believe that we should.
Yeah.
I mean,
Somebody said that.
And they can
belongs
come,
to them anyway.
they can come before the jury like anybody else and tell us their plans, and we can say,
you know, if they're gonna involve a parking lot with a stage and a live band, what is our liability?
somebody falls and gets hurt,
Yeah.
they're gonna sue.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. that-
And I mean, they should have included the police jury on their
Shouldn't
event
have
insurance.
been.
If we don't have any money, what
We
are they
don't
gonna
have
get?
liability
Insurance.
issues. Doesn't mean they won't,
Attempt.
bring an action against us. And then we have to look at the motions of being dismissed and hiring an attorney.
well, I don't see what's wrong with, if they want to rent it,
Boiler
come before
room
us,
is $1,200.
tell us their intentions, and then we can negotiate it
To
there.
rent the school,
I think.
Okay? That sounds like that'd be the way to work that out.
I mean, heck, you're, that's
Because
a
I-
party.
'cause
You should have been.
For a wedding.
I didn't know I didn't know we rented it out, and I was asked about it, and I asked here, and yeah, we do, so that's all I did,
Yeah,
okay?
it was nothing intentional, I think. it was
And they
just-
did clean it up,
Yeah, they did.
I mean,
There was no damage. Everything was clean and returned.
so I think that's what we'll do, we just leave the fee as it is, and have them come before us and state their intentions, what they wanna use and whatever, and we can go from there and tell them, no, you can't.
You can still raise your fee a little bit if you feel like you need
We
to.
raise it.
And normally what they'll do is they'll pick up the key on a Friday, they'll decorate Friday night, have the event Saturday, clean up Sunday. So for the whole weekend, $500. I think that's
Well,
reasonable.
even 300 is better than 200. I mean,
So whatever price y'all want to put on that.
Okay, y'all think about a price
right?
for, Tuesday. All right, K is adopt a resolution approving the issuance, sale, and delivery of water revenue bonds in Southwest Avoyelles Waterworks District. Okay, and L is adopt a resolution of process verbal or canvas a vote for drainage.
Yeah, I jumped the gun last meeting, I put it on there before I got the resolution, just muscle memory
All
on
right, so we redoing
it.
it.
We just read
Okay,
it.
we redoing it, okay. All right, any other business?
Comment from the public?
Huh?
Comments?
Any comments?
Yeah, again, I'm gonna ask that we do something toward a calendar.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We can just watch that, we don't,
It needs to be on a website where you can see it before we plan stuff, is the problem.
I don't know what's happened to our website. It's in Neverland
I
somewhere.
reckon, yeah, I recommend we try to keep, maybe we can set a day for like planning commissions, committees, a day for, finance committees, do it that way so we don't ever overlap.
Well, that would
Designate a
probably
day.
work also.
We'll designate a day, we can work on that.
I think that's when group text, and
Yeah.
Andy and
Mark?
alleviate.
Don't need that, I'll find out.
Oh, he'll, go ahead and start the text thread. you know.
Yeah, he'll be no
Okay, but that's probably what we'll do, we'll just, I think designate a day for something.
It won't come up much, but when it does, it's
Well, we have Road and
aggravating.
Bridge, we usually do that on Mondays, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
So if we set a day, we'll know, everybody will know, hey, if I gotta have a meeting, I gotta have it Tuesday, I gotta have it Wednesday.
I think you
gotta
had
have it-
3 meetings Tuesday, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been meeting up there.
You have to be sure that you don't violate it.
Why Charlie kept saying that they're public meetings?
No, they all public meetings.
Well, they're,
Not
basically
necessarily.
they are, but
Because committee meetings are public meetings.
If, like,
The
when
public
it
just
was,
doesn't ever know about it.
You just don't need to have more than,
That's right.
They don't have
That's
to be
what he says.
advertised.
If everybody
No,
wants to come,
quorum.
then you have to advertise
Committee
in the
meeting.
paper.
meeting, it'd be 2 people.
Yes,
You don't have to be public.
no,
If it's
But
not
if you go
5,
over-
just so you don't have 5.
then you have to advertise in the paper.
well, I set up these committee meetings basically with the budget, because guys, we need to look at it. You need to put it under a microscope. It's never, in the past, it's just been here, yay, and it's passed, okay? But the day's coming, closer than you think. We probably lost a finance chair tonight, okay, over it, and I hate that, but, it is. Good night. We got adjourned.
I blame these 2 guys down here.
For being quiet.
It's y'all's fault.